to Digital Fashion Week, to our masterclass with Brilliant Crypto. We're learning how to create digital jewelry today with the Brilliant Crypto website. We also have Siddharth Vora from the Matic Studio. We're really grateful to you for coming in as well and working with us to help
Course.
showcase how to create jewelry. Um, so, Hugo, you are from Brilliant Crypto. I'm going to let you take everything away and lead us through this workshop. I will be coming in and I will be interjecting with some questions. I'll be answering some questions on YouTube and then I'll be asking questions to Hugo and Siddharth as we go along. But Hugo, I think you're going to lead us off with giving us some background information.
I think I am. Yes. So, yes. Hello, everybody. Thank you to the 18 of you who have turned up right now. And I'm sure we'll be having a lot more people filter in as we continue the session. First things first, Claire and everyone else, you're banned from using my name as Hugo because my community manager name is Churchie. So that's what the what the community of Brilliant Crypto will know me as. I mean, you can call me whatever. If you can do enough research and you realize what my real name is. But yes, I'll just refer to myself as Churchie. I do community management and also marketing and lots of other things for the Brilliant Crypto service. And it's a pleasure to be here. And yeah, I'm obviously joined by Siddharth as well. Like Siddharth, would you like to just drop a quick introduction as well?
Yeah, 100%. Hi guys, my name is Siddharth. I'm the design director and the founder of a digital design studio called The Matic. And we've been a part of the Digital Fashion Week for the last couple of years with Claire. It's been great. It's been a really, really good time. And excited to kind of sit in this workshop with you and do some fun jewelry.
Yeah, so it's a massive honor to have you with us tonight
Thank
or
you.
today, or from wherever you're tuning in. It could even be the
Yeah.
morning. But yeah, it's a massive, massive honor to have you with us. And obviously, I understand that you're reasonably new to the Brilliant Crypto platform. So you
I
might
am.
even learn something
Yes.
as I sort of go through it
Yeah,
as well. But you're certainly
exactly.
not new to designing, right? You are,
I am
a
not.
veteran in
I
that
am not.
respect. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
certainly very new to designing, so we can help each other out as we sort
Yeah,
of
we can
move
bounce
through the
off each
session.
other. Some cool ideas
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm looking forward to it. Cool. So, to a lot of you sort of listening in the crowd at the moment, I'm sure that you'll be very new to Brilliant Crypto as a concept, and it's a sort of a name of a company that doesn't give you a whole lot of an idea um, what it does, and you probably don't immediately get the idea of digital jewelry from the name as well. So, to give everybody in the audience just a quick introduction, we have prepared a lovely presentation for all of you. It is titled The Future of Digital Jewelry, and it should now be showing on the screen. But you don't need to worry too much about that title for the moment. It's kind of one of those things, or three-quarters of the way through the presentation. It's a bit like the title of a book. For
Uh,
now, we're just going to talk a little bit about. For now, we're going to just talk a little bit about Brilliant Crypto. So Brilliant Crypto is the name of the company. It is the subsidiary of a Japanese company called Colopol. So I'm currently speaking to you all from Japan. Colopol is a very well-known video game development and publisher company in Japan. They have made games that have had over 200 million downloads, and they're publicly traded on the Japanese prime section of the Japanese stock exchange. So they're very well known in Japan, and they have decided to set out on this venture to create a game where you can find gemstones, you can turn them into jewelry, and you can trade them with other players. And the catch to all of this is that these gemstones and jewelry have real value because they are NFTs on the blockchain. So we don't hear the word NFT thrown about these days as much as we used to in around 2021 to 2022, but they're very much a real thing.
Definitely.
And they are, out here to create real utility and provide some real value for digital fashion in general, and in this case, for the next evolution of jewelry. Just a little bit about Colopol. It's been 15 years since they've been creating games. They created the world's first location-based game And their most popular game is Shironoko Project. It's a very well-known intellectual property in Japan. So you can have a look at that afterwards if you want to. The founder of Colossal and also Brilliant Crypto is Naruatsu Baba. Don't get anything wrong. I'm not Naruatsu Baba. I'm just the community manager. But he's always loved gemstones, and he's loved them since childhood, and he has this passion for hunting for precious diamonds and other treasures. And you can see on the right hand here, he's wearing this very luxurious looking ring on the right hand side. And in 2022, we founded this company because it comes from a fascination with Bitcoin and also this history in creating really high quality gaming experiences. And in combining the two with his love for gemstones, Brilliant Crypto was born. And the evolution of a game where you find gemstones has to be in creating jewelry and allowing people to express themselves in a very unique way in many different digital worlds. That's what we aim for in this company. So that's what I've just been talking about. We want to create this whole new industry of jewelry and accessories. So it's powered by the Web3 blockchain NFT technologies, but it's going to be a disruptor in this space in a completely different economy for jewelry that we haven't seen before. And it's essentially digital native rather than physical first, digital second, which is what you see these days with blockchain. It's the opposite way around. And we can talk a little bit more about why that's necessary. But the main thing that you guys are here for today is to learn, with all of that in the background, players are mining gemstones like it was Minecraft, and they're putting them on the market and people are purchasing them. The very next stage to that is something that's very close to the heart of digital fashion, which is the ability to create your very own jewelry. As you can see on the right-hand side, this is part of the interface that we'll be explaining today, that people can use to create rings or bracelets or earrings. And anyone can do this. So if you don't have any specific knowledge of CAD or 3D designing, like me, who has absolutely awful design sense, you can still create a piece of jewelry. But it does help if you are already a digital fashion designer, because you'll have a very strong sense for what works well in that space. And it's very, very easy to get your hands on and immediately play around with. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And the catch here is obviously that once you've created your piece of jewelry, you don't just look at it and say, oh, that's nice. It's a piece of art that doesn't do anything. You can also trade it on the marketplace, or in the future through integrations using blockchain technology. It should be possible to wear it in many different metaverse worlds as well. And just to talk a little bit about what we've achieved with this concept so far, we released the platform initially last year in June 2024, which is when the game itself, where people find the gemstones and they go running around in mountains and find diamonds or red spinels or aquamarines, was released. So there's actually not a lot of examples of blockchain or Web3 based games that survive past the first month or two. But we've put a lot of effort into making this a sustainable experience for the users who are earning through this game. And that's why we're still here. And we're still very, very going strong. We've got a very strong community, as hopefully some of you guys can make some noise in the YouTube. I know you guys will be there watching this as well. And, it's not just that. Of course, we've had the players, but also, as I've been talking about, the gemstones themselves can be traded inside the game. The highest gemstone deal was around 3,000 US dollars for just one gemstone that was found by a player. So I'm sure that player was very happy to hear that he managed to find a gemstone worth $3,000. And this is a completely digital asset. And then using these gemstones, we created the very first exhibition at an event called NFT Paris, which I believe Digital Fashion Week was also present at as well, if I'm correct in saying so. And we had a wonderful collection of 10 pieces that were designed by very well-known designers. Some of the more well-known names in this space are Ilona Song or Ouroboros. And, we even had Paula from Ouroboros come with us to NFT Paris to take the stage. And it was great. We had a lot of really great praise, and the most expensive selling jewelry piece from that exhibition was actually sold for 6,000 USD, or around 2.29 Ether. So there is a dream to be sold here. If you are the next well-known digital fashion designer who is getting into creating jewelry, your piece could be the next piece that's being sold at a major exhibition that's launched by us around the world. So there is something in it for you to potentially get involved. And the ability to actually create these pieces of jewelry without our help was released in April 2025 when the jewelry workshop itself was released. And that's what we will be explaining today. And I'm sure everyone is aware of Pixel Canvas as well. Wonderful metaverse creator. We've launched this great partnership with them, which has allowed us to make it possible for people in their metaverse worlds to wear the jewelry. That's something that's coming very soon. But it should be coming up very soon, and it'll be very great for people to essentially go from 0 to 100. They go into the game, they find their own gemstones, they design a piece of jewelry using those gemstones, and they turn that into an NFT, and then they can automatically import that into a metaverse world and actually wear what they have created as an expression of themselves. It's a very all-inclusive, unilateral project, and I hope that you guys will take an interest in not just the jewelry creating part as well, but the entire process that can take place. And so the very exciting thing, talking about Digital Fashion Week, is dates to be decided, but September 12th or around or thereby to the 18th of Brilliant Crypto will be in the Digital Fashion Week exhibition. And we will hopefully be showcasing these digital jewelry pieces on the digital fashion runway. And so if you want to have the exposure and the prestige that comes with putting one of your digital fashion pieces on that runway to be appreciated by the very top of the top in this wonderful industry that is digital fashion and 3D design, then you shouldn't miss this chance to learn throughout this workshop. And then as a result of that, take your skills to the workshop, create something, and completely for free, submit your design on Instagram for a chance to win one of 5 spots in this digital fashion runway. I'll give a little bit more information about this at the end of the workshop as well, just as a reminder. But for now, just please do remember that there is this contest chance that's coming up, and that will be the next slide. But we will not talk about the next slide. We will quickly take a breather after all of that information to see if everyone's okay.
That was
if everyone's catching up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't have
Very
any questions as yet. We just have a lot of excited participants. We're really happy to see everybody here. Yeah, so I think we can move on to the next step, and then we'll probably have questions as they come in.
Sure. I mean,
sounds good.
The fact that we have excited comments and we don't have questions or doubts probably means I'm doing my job quite well. So I'm going to take it as a compliment. I didn't make the presentation. I'm sure whoever's watching this masterclass will know who it was, another member of our company. So well done to them for creating something that everyone seems to have understood very well. So yeah, I think we can move on. Neither of you guys also have any questions or comments?
None yet.
Well? Okay.
Oh, very good. Yeah. Let's get into it.
Well, I really am very good at my job then.
And we're just really excited to hear
complimenting myself. Okay, cool. Well, what I think I'll go through next, because I think a lot of you are now watching and thinking, well, okay, cool. So there's this jewelry workshop that I can get involved in, and I can, design these pieces of jewelry. How the hell do I get there? How do I find it? How do I get started? So I'll just go through that process very quickly, and then I'll show you through the platform, and then we'll get straight to designing, because I think that's what everyone's here for. So what's going to be coming up on your screen now is the homepage of Brilliant Crypto. So you should hopefully be able to see, this person that was holding the gem over here. Now we've got the sort of mines, we've got the coin here. There's a lot of interesting stuff to read through here. There's a bit about digital jewelry as well, and the sort of gameplay that the mining side people can enjoy as well. But the important part is if you're looking to get started with mining, with creating your jewelry pieces, then you're going to want to download for PC. The slightly confusing thing that might be about this is this does include Mac as well. So you can download for PC, and you'll get an option here to download from Windows or from Mac. You can also get the game from Epic Games Store as well. It doesn't really matter. But just one thing you need to be aware of is that the digital jewelry workshop is not available on the mobile version of the game. It would just be a little bit too much to handle. So make sure that you are downloading on PC and giving the platform a try on there. And so, if you do find yourself on this website and wonder if you're in the right place, then yes, you are. And since we're here, we might as well have a look at the wonderful sort of digital jewelry pieces as well that we saw, that I was talking about for NFT Paris. These are the sort of things that were created in partnership with some wonderful designers from around the world. So yes, your name and your product could be here. If you decide to become an avid member of the community and you start interacting with us, we'd be very happy to interact with you as well and see where things go. So
those are some really beautiful designs, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I should have spent a little bit more time looking at them. Really, it was more like a
it's so pretty.
rapid fire.
The amount of detail is insane.
It is, there are some incredibly talented people that we worked with. Some of them weren't digital designers as well. They were actually authentic, high jewelry designers as well. So they had a completely different outlook on design. They don't even use with CAD, for example. They just create on paper. It's crazy what they come up with. So yeah, let's jump into the platform. So I'm going to go ahead and share it on my screen now. Here we go. So to some of you in the audience, this may be a very, very familiar screen, and some of you will be seeing this for the very first time. There's a lot of information overload here. First of all, I don't want you to get too confused. There is a cat looking, it's actually a robot, but it's a robot that looks like a cat. There's also my character over here sitting in his chair, and there's lots of gemstones on the TV. But I'll just quickly preface this by saying that a lot of these screens, like for example the mine screen or the scholar's screen or the pickaxe shop or these two buttons that allow you to go mining, these are all features for people that want to get involved or try out the mining aspects of the game. So this is about finding gemstones and sort of playing to earn in that respect. And it's probably going to be a little bit less relevant for most of our users today. But what you can see I just did there is I clicked on this sort of tray with these gemstones in it. And you can also access that screen as well by going over here to the gemstone screen. These are some of the gemstones that I found and some of the gemstones that you'll be able to work with when you are working on this platform as a jewelry designer. So these have come from my own efforts or for people who have been mining for me. And it's not only that, I've got lots of other ones as well. You can see I've got a lot of blue ones because they're the most common ones at the moment. But we have diamonds, we have red spinels, and they come in lots of different shapes and sizes. Probably the main piece of information that I need to give is that gemstones in this game are not sort of typical gems that you would see in a regular mobile game. We talk about 1 gem, 100 gems. These are gemstones with real jewelry-like gemstone qualities. They're defined by the 4 Cs, which are the standards that real gemstone authenticators in the real world use. So that's, what is their color like? What is their clarity like? What is the cut that they have been cut with? And finally, what is the carat weight, which will divine how big the gemstone is as well. So I think that's probably the one that most people have heard of. The higher the carat weight, the higher, the heavier, therefore, because it's the weight it will be, and also the bigger the gemstone will be as well. So this is a very large red spinel that also has a name attached to it because it's so large that it's actually quite rare. So yeah, that's all I'll talk about for gemstones. Other than, you can go over here to the gem and jewelry exchange and you can see just how many gemstones are being sold. You can see a lot of them are being sold for very expensive prices, but in just by looking in this tab, you can see that recently over 25,000 gemstones have been traded. So it's a very healthy market. There are lots of gemstones available for you to basically play around with your designs as well. So, I mean, I can always reset my filters and I can go to newest first. And these are the ones that people have been putting out on the market today. And just have a quick look at the jewelry tab to see what people have been putting on the market since we first released the jewelry workshop. You can see that there are some pretty incredible designs that people have come up with. You have a drunk rabbit over here, or you have this amazing thing called Illuminance Noctem, or this amazing dolphin ring, which everyone really loves. It's really incredible that people have been able to create this sort of 3D looking jewelry design with our platform. So this has been very carefully put together. It's very cool. And to be honest, like this is the first piece of jewelry that was created using the jewelry workshop that the developers looked at. The developers of the platform had a look and they went, that is not what we expected. We did not think people would be able to create stuff that looks like that. And you know, since that moment, we essentially had this realization that this is something that not just like regular game players needed to tap into, but you know, real fashion designers, digital fashion designers and 3D designers would really be able to get stuck into this and you know, just blow the market apart. So that's really it for sort of the basic stuff that's in the game in the background. I wonder if there's any questions so far before we sort of get into the real deal.
So we don't have any questions yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I think probably as we get into the design process, we might have some more questions. I have some questions I'm going to ask at the end about the actual gemstones and
Okay, all right, no problem.
Yeah, it's gripping and fascinating.
Thank you very much for that.
Definitely.
Okay, well, maybe you're not so worried about buying gemstones or purchasing jewelry for now. Maybe you're not too worried about the gemstones and you just want to get your hands into a piece of software and just see how it works and just give designing a go. Just one thing, if you are watching along at the moment and you're using a PC, it might be kind of fun to download the platform and just sort of play around with it as we're talking as well. And you might even find that you have more detailed questions by doing that. Anyway,
yeah, I think that's the best way to learn as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely,
I mean, obviously, you can also watch this live stream back as well again afterwards and sort of like follow along to what we were doing this time. So it's really up to you how you want to approach this. But of course, very welcome to play along. My guy is looking very bored in his chair over here on the right. So we'll quickly move along with the process. So here we are on the main screen of Brilliant Crypto. How do I start designing jewelry? Okay, well, the obvious idea would be to go to the jewelry tab over here in the top right. And in the very center here is this inconspicuous looking but powerful circular tablet, which is actually your doorway to the jewelry workshop. So I think no one would guess that this is going to take you to a completely different piece of software. But if you click here, the thing will open and you'll be taken into this wonderful environment where you can see that we have now been presented with a ring. So on the top left, right. Yeah, we're here. We're about to get started.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Well, we have, the ring. You can also see on the top left that you can choose different types of jewelry. So you could be choosing a bracelet or a necklace or an earring. I think that we're going to start off with a ring just to keep things very simple. And then, if you guys would like in the chat, you can tell us a little bit later if you want to choose a different piece of jewelry to have a look at as well. So I'm just going to dive right in and I'm going to click Start Crafting. And remember, with this piece of software, you can always see what the controls are over here by clicking the question mark down here too. So Start Crafting. And here we are. This may be the very first look for some of you at the jewelry workshop. So where do we start from here? Sid, any ideas?
Yeah. Let's start adding a few stones to it.
Yeah. Okay, right. Well, in order to do that then, we're going to choose, because essentially what we'll be doing is we won't be putting gems in straight away. We're going to be choosing the placeholders. And if you guys have seen a piece of jewelry before, you will have seen that you've got a gemstone sitting on a ring, and you have these sort of prongs, or these sort of, we call them settings, that hold the piece of jewelry, the gemstone in the piece of jewelry. And so we're going to choose just one of these, and I'm going to go for a very simple round cut here. And I can choose, I mean, I can just place this on the bracelet for now. And so let's just put it right in the center here. But if this looks a little bit small to you, there's lots of things that you can do. The main thing would be to increase the size over here on the right. We don't want to go too big, otherwise
Let's
we're
do
going to
that.
be looking. That's I think that's going to be a very difficult to wear ring.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you know,
definitely.
you don't get punished too much for making mistakes like this. So let's just keep it like this.
Yeah, I think because I've used a lot of 3D softwares in my time in the design space. I feel this is one of the easier ones to catch as well.
Yeah,
because you get the hang of it super easily.
Yeah. Oh, I'm very glad to hear that.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, it's okay, but it kind of looks a little bit unnatural, right? It's kind of sort of embedded a little bit too deeply into this ring. So maybe I'm going to want to try and mess around with the height, right? So I could adjust this slider over here. Again, we don't want to go too high, otherwise now we're kind of, you know, we could be basically floating, but we could go just a little bit down like that, and you know, maybe that's looking a bit cooler.
Yeah.
Okay, where should we go next, do you think?
We can add like a rectangular cut maybe on either side of the one that we just added.
Like so?
That could look cool.
Should we go for an emerald cut then over here?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, so let's get into another technique over here. So I've added one here. I could just grab another one. Or if I've created something particularly complex and I don't want to, you know, overcomplicate things, I could click the duplicate button over here. And you see that I've just ended up with the same cut as well. So here we go. We've now got one either side, as you said, which is, you know, I think that's.
What do you think about that?
Right?
Starting to look like something. Starting to look expensive now.
Yeah, it looks not too bad at all. Now, I'm going to test you, Sid, and I'm going to.
Yes, please.
I'm going to test you on the knowledge of the workshop here. Wouldn't you say in designing that symmetry is very important?
It is, for me at least. Yeah, I think symmetry kind of gives a balance to the eye as well. Things just
is there
kind of start
anything
looking
that is looking
natural.
slightly not symmetrical if you're looking at the numbers on the right hand of the screen?
Yeah, the placement angle.
Okay.
Is looking a little off, I think.
So if we want, because this is in dead center of the ring, so I'm going to just adjust this then, and I can type in the numbers that I want as well. So here we go. And
there you go.
We've got minus 24 away from this center line, and we've also got 24. So that should be pretty good, right?
Right.
Okay, well, we're doing not too bad so far. I'm feeling pretty confident with you as my guider.
So. Let's go. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what are we creating here, though? What are we going to go for, do you think?
I think we can add a few connectors as well.
Okay. Where am I going to add the connectors?
Kind of like go into the floaty zone. I feel we can add one right on either side of the main gemstone to make it look a little bit more 3D.
Main gemstone. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's explain the connectors quickly. So
yes.
I could be connecting these settings like directly to each other. But you might want to sort of go for a little bit more freedom in your design as well. As you can see here, if I'm connecting this directly, and I'm just using my mouse I'm right clicking here, for example, to get some parallel movement, and I'm using my left click to get a better angle here. I'm not going to be able to get any higher than this gemstone here. But if I'm going to use my connector, so I'm just going to quickly remove that. There we go. And I put this over here. I can actually do some really cool things.
I think your voice is cutting off.
I can extend the length of this.
Yeah, there you go.
Now it looks kind of on either side of it. So now I'm really now look now I'm oh I'm back. Okay. Well, now I'm really getting
Yeah,
stuck, and
now
I have
we're
no
getting
idea what I'm
into that
creating here today.
3D
I'll be
zone.
honest with you.
Yeah.
um, and so, some people can get really crazy with these creators and create these things like you saw, like the phoenixes and the
Yeah.
really awesome rings. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not incredible at it at the moment. But if in order to get really creative with your designs, using
Hmm.
these connectors creatively is basically the key to your success. So I think it's
Yeah,
a
I think
good
you
cool.
could also go like into more three-dimensional shapes around the main ring to go a little bit
Exactly.
more three-dimensional, higher, a little bit wider, just to experiment with a few cool shapes and sizes
Absolutely.
as well.
I'm going to duplicate that heart again and just go for that symmetry because I'm a total beginner and all I know is to just make things look the same on
Yeah,
both
yeah,
sides. We'll just set
that's not
connection
looking
angle,
bad at
looks
all.
good. Now
So
you
Yeah,
keep talking to me about 3D.
yeah.
Um, what do you think would make this a bit more 3D?
So I feel we need to add a little bit more height for sure because
A little
everything
bit
is placed
height.
very close to, yeah, a little bit more height. I think everything's placed pretty close to the base of the ring at this point. Maybe we can
Yeah.
go a little higher and make it give it a little bit more dynamism in the sense of 3D-ness. A little bit more height, a little bit more width where we place the gemstones in a way. We could go
So I
higher
mean,
with
dude,
the,
we didn't rehearse this, but this is exactly what I was thinking. So,
oh, lovely.
we could go up
There you go. Yeah,
along this. And so there you go. That's what I was talking about. Now I've managed to achieve a completely different connection to this
correct.
gemstone.
And that would only be possible if you added the connectors and not straight away added like another gemstone to it.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So I've gone for, you know what, let's just make this a more round number. Let's turn that to 0.7. And I'm just going to copy and paste that height over here. And now we
There you go.
are where we want it to be.
can I just
Yeah.
jump in
So,
with a question right there that we've got that's really relevant to what you're doing now? So Chill Vibes for
yep.
You said, can you adjust both? And this was back when we were doing either side. Can you adjust both at the same time for symmetry? Or do they need to, each one you have to do it individually?
Okay. Well, you can multi-select like this. So have a look at that. Now you can be adjusting the height over here. And you can be adjusting stuff like rotation at the same time.
Yeah.
So that was a very, very good point. And one that I, could have included straight away just to make it, to avoid making
Yeah.
it look as though you had to do it all one by one. But, actually just a really excellent question and something that's going to save us a lot of time going through this. So I'm just going to quickly, what I'll do is that, oh, seems to have come out here. I'm just going to undo, and you might want to see how I did that. This little undo button at the bottom. It's going to make your life very simple if you mess up. And what I did there, if I just click on both of these, I can hold control, I can hold shift. It's not going to do anything for me. You want to go over here and click this multiple selection tool. And then you can basically choose these two hearts that you want to mess around with. So we were bringing it to what, 0.7 height. So here we go. And then both over here as
Very
well.
cool. Yeah.
So I hope that answers the question. Really, really, really smashing question.
Yeah, it was great. Actually, we've got another one that's super relevant right now as well. Asya asks, is it possible to intervene on the ring base, maybe tilting it, changing the diameter and the depth of it in different parts?
That is a good question and something that I wish was an affirmative answer. But as it stands right now, you have to work with the ring base as it is. So, you know, I mean, it would be a very, very complex and, technically demanding piece of software if you could mess around with the ring base as well. I mean, what you can be doing is with um, the rings on the previous page, there are some rings that, for example, have gaps or they are slightly thinner at certain areas
Yeah.
than
Different
at
dimensions,
others.
different thicknesses, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And when they have those gaps, you can
Hmm.
be using stuff like connectors to actually kind of create your own shape as well. I mean, if you wanted to get really crazy with it and you wanted to put in like a lot of time, you could. kind of create
Yeah.
something completely different by, yeah, I don't know, like making it really long and then,
Yeah.
rotating it, or, changing the angle, or, making it go horizontal over here. And you could probably create something really crazy by doing that. Um, I mean, look, there are some really, really good people on the platform that have done some incredible things. And I don't think it stops there at all. But that's kind of what you're limited to at the moment, is using the connectors and basically the gemstones
So I feel like the
to
connectors
create
should
shapes.
solve a lot of the issues when it comes to like the modification part of it, because it gives you kind of that open playing field to, play around with the shape and size of the entire ring anyway. So
They do, and they do it a lot more than we initially expected. Like they were just kind of
hmm
really meant for this, what I'm showing over here.
right.
And the fact that people were creating like incredible shapes using them, kind of blew our minds
Exactly.
when it started happening. But we've just realized we're just kind of going with the flow now, basically being like, okay, well,
Yeah.
just use the connectors however you want to.
hmm
It is
Yeah,
completely like
exactly.
it's a playground.
Love that.
So, I mean, again, I'm not really an incredible designer, but one thing that I think really comes in handy here is that right now we have a very sort of flat design with these connected
Yeah.
at 90-degree angles all over the place.
hmm
And
hmm
so what's really necessary is these rotations over here. So you can rotate on this y-axis, and you can also rotate on this x-axis as well. So
Yeah.
getting used to which axis does what might take a little bit of getting used to, because it's very specific to this platform. You would kind of expect it to be the other way around, for example. But as you can see, we can get some cool like tilt on this now, which is kind of how this dolphin design that we showed earlier was created.
Yeah.
Um, and so now we have these heart pieces they're kind of sitting on top of the connector now, by doing this. And that also goes for the
Yeah.
connectors too. We can also mess around with the X and the Y as well. So this is how you start making really 3D shapes
Yeah.
using the
Yeah.
platform. And Z obviously as well, so you can twist like this as well. So you have a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
think you can
freedom
go
here.
you can go pretty crazy with the rotation of the connectors as well. So,
Yeah,
pretty much
you
make like
go
a
a lot
whole
crazier than I
three-dimensional
am.
object with it. As a
Absolutely.
start, it's pretty good. Yeah.
And so look at this. I mean, you can go wide as well. So we were
Yeah.
just talking about creating different shapes. And I mean, this is abhorrent, this ring. I mean, who knows what it looks like it looks like an elephant. I'm not really sure what it looks like actually. It's not great. But look, I can do this, and now you've got a sort of a circular shape on the base of the ring, which could kind of turn into something completely different if you want to chain them forward like
Yeah.
this. You might want to select them both, and then you can just duplicate all of those, and now you're really motoring, right? Now I'm selecting all of these, and it's quite. Ooh,
All right.
I
Yeah.
selected everything.
Yeah.
I've selected everything now.
Yeah.
Um,
Duplicate everything.
but you see what we're doing, right? We're really playing around with all of these different shapes, so that you can create some really cool designs on your ring. Okay, I think we've been through quite a lot so far in terms of design. So I
I
think
think the
what
the finish of the ring is also pretty cool. The different types of finishes that you have on the ring is also pretty interesting.
looking at
Kind of
this
brings
type
out.
up here on the top left,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I have a tendency when I create pieces of jewelry to create it all with this sort of silver finish. And then right
Yes.
at the very end, I'll be like, I wonder what this would look like if
Yeah.
it's gold. Ah, looks cooler
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
gold. And then I just
Yeah.
finish the design.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, so is there anything that you think maybe we haven't explored, Sid? I'm really testing you now.
I think we've covered a lot of the basics, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Or do you want to also cover the connector type, connectable type? That is, I
Yes,
feel like an interesting
I
zone
think
where we can
exactly.
experiment as well.
So you know what? I'm going all over the place here now, and so I'm just gonna have to delete all of these because I've managed to have created some floating gemstone, and you will see this is an important point as well with the software. If you go too crazy, there you go. It's kind of fixed itself now. You can't make things float, generally speaking,
hmm
apart
Right.
from like a few there are a few examples where you can get away with it, you can make it happen, but like, you can't get too buggy with it. It is generally supposed to be connected to the piece of jewelry.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to dig in then to what you were talking about, Sid. So we're
Yeah.
going to go ahead and we're going to create another piece of, we're going to put another setting over here. And what you were referring to is down here, the gemstone
Correct.
setting options.
Hmm.
We're not always working with this one particular, and let's just put it all the way up so you can see what we're talking about. This one type of setting. You can be choosing lots of different settings that we have here. We have the radiant bezel settings, for example. They all seem to be called that, but they are lots of different types, and you can achieve a lot of different types of design by playing around with these. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't really have the design sense to tell you which one of these is going to look best for any particular design, but I think a designer with a sense for these things is going to be a lot better.
Yeah, I think like it's all about the aesthetic you're going for. If you want to look super modern, then like a whole glass around the gem looks pretty good. If you want to go a little bit more antique, then separate wires that connect at the bottom looks a little bit more interesting and intricate. So I think it
Yeah,
totally depends on the kind of aesthetic you have to want to choose the connector.
I think when you're going for settings like this one, it's not really supposed to be
Yeah.
sitting on top of the gemstone. It's kind of
Hmm.
something that's more um, if you reduce the height, it's kind of something that's supposed to be more embedded. But some
Yeah,
of them kind of look pretty cool on top of the piece as well. Like for example, this one.
correct. Yeah.
You know,
So
that
this I
that
would
looks
say
pretty cool.
is a little bit more intricate and a little bit more antique in its way of design. And the first one that you chose that was way towards the contemporary modern side. So again, like it
Absolutely.
depends on what type of ring you're going for. So
Okay. So here we are. We've got a setting, and I think maybe what everyone's thinking is, well, I'm going to create my design and I'm going to submit it for the design contest, but we keep talking about gemstones, and I'm not seeing any gemstones in here at the moment. It's getting a little bit, upsetting to see no gemstones in our ring. So I'm going to click on this menu over here on the bottom right. It says purchase gemstones of this side. Now, don't get worried because we're not talking about actually buying gemstones here. This is just simply the way to open the gemstone menu. Of course, you can purchase them and you can turn these into pieces of real jewelry, but for the design contest, all that we're asking is that you place them in a format which is called unfixed. So for this particular ring, let's go ahead and put let's put a Paraiba tourmaline in here. So I'm going to click this one. You can see this is worth quite a lot. Someone's trying to sell this for a lot of currency here. But if I click this place unfixed button here, it's going to show me in my design what this gemstone looks like here. And this is going to be incredibly important for anyone that is thinking of taking part in the design contest. Typically speaking, I don't think your design is going to win or really even be considered if you haven't put any gemstones into it.
mhm.
So once you've finished your design, you're going to want to make sure that, if you've got settings over here, that they've all got at least a few, they've got a gemstone in it so that we can really understand what the piece of jewelry is that you were going to
Right.
make. It's going to give you a much better idea if you go along in the process of what
Yeah, I
you're
think it gives you a better idea what your design looks like with the gemstone fit in for sure.
exactly. So you can see I've already placed that one. So I'm going to have to go with another one. And so there you go. Now we've got a white diamond over here and we've got a yellow diamond. And so it's definitely trial and error to see what sort of gemstones are available.
Yeah.
But it will be a process that rewards you if you go through it properly. So yeah, I think we're kind of getting to the end of like the basic
Yeah.
the basic explanations. The only other real things that I think are going to be important for people who are actually experienced with design are sort of the tools that we have over here on the left-hand side. So we've talked about selecting, one thing. You click on here, you click on it, and you can move it over here using the select tool. So you can really adjust your design as much as you want in this way. It's not too difficult to play around. And you can also use the multiple select tool as well if you want to move, these guys as well. So there you go. Or if you'll be doing that if you want to duplicate them, for example. But down here, we have these guidelines it's these blue guidelines which essentially show you where the center of the ring is. So this is the very top, which is where your zero begins, and obviously the center in the middle as well. And we also have this cube as well. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm not a designer, so I don't really know how this helps. It says, okay.
I think it helps in the axis a lot, like in the sense that what globe gizmo you're in. And so X or Y or Z, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's got two purposes really. The first purpose is to make sure that you are aware of where your axes are. And the second purpose is, as it says here, this is basically the placeable area. And we're not really in any trouble at the moment with our ring. But if our ring started getting, I don't know if I'll be able to reach the top with some connectors. I can try. Here we go. It's going to take me a long time, so I think I won't. But if you for some reason managed to create a ring that was this high, then you wouldn't be able to finish creating your piece of jewelry. And we have this over here, this parameter guide. And so let's see what happens when we turn this on and off. I believe this is now telling us what angle everything is at if we do that.
Yeah.
And we also have the snapping.
This is giving you more control on where you want to place your.
Exactly. And finally, we have this snapping feature as well that you can turn on and off. So I've turned it off now, so you can see that I can go to really crazy angles here, like 120.1 or 122.4. But if I turn this magnet on, then it's going to allow me to just kind of get a little bit more, rigid snapping here, which is, what you kind of want when you're designing something. I believe. I think so.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You don't sound like you were designing it the first time, for sure.
Well, it must be all of the jewelry design that I've been doing. And we've got this ruler as well. I'll be honest with you, I don't use it a lot, but if you are an experienced designer and you kind of want to check if everything's in the right place, then you can do stuff like clicking on the ruler to adjust which angle it is.
This really helps with the OCD, I feel. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we can see that everything's definitely not in line here. Or I might want to sort of have this lined up with this, and so I might want to move this guy over here. And it's a process that if you're creating a piece of jewelry, you're going to want to go through. So we've done that, and I think we do still have some more time to talk about a little bit more. There's these things down here where you can focus on particular things. Like I've clicked this. Let's see, we'll get rid of this, and I'll click on this gemstone. I click focus, and it's going to allow me to focus on that. And over here on the top, you can display the entire jewelry piece with a focus on the piece rather than what you're selecting at the time. So there's a lot of different ways that you can play around with your views, and probably from a 3D designer point of view, having a perspective view and an orthographic view.
The blue highlight just becomes your axis instead of the center of the ring. So you can just rotate around that instead of the whole ring overall.
Exactly. Well, I would have thought you would have created the product, man. Like I feel like you've used it less than me, but I think you already know a lot more than I
do. Yeah. I've been in and out of 3 softwares for 10 years now. So just getting the hang of it quickly.
Very easy. So if you're a designer and you want to make use of these different perspectives, you've got the perspective view and you've got the orthographic view as well. There is an explanation if you're not a designer that kind of tells you what these do, but I think you kind of really need to be a bit of a pro in order to sort of appreciate how these are going to help you evaluate your piece. But for some of you, I think you'll get along just fine. So and if you get stuck
in with some questions for you at this point while we're on this design. So we have somebody, Chill Vibes for You, is wondering how people get some letters on the jewelry. Did they also use connectors to create letter shapes?
So they're using the connectors. Once you get really good with connectors, you can create letters. I'm going to try and demonstrate very quickly here. to make a, what should we go for? Should we go for an H maybe?
Yeah.
So this is going to be a very rudimentary H, but I don't want to cut. There we go. Duplicate that. Put this over there. Ooh. I'm trying to be way too speedy with this. And I don't think he knows where I'm connecting. So let's not do that. Let's just let go. Let go. Let's just duplicate another one of these. I don't really need to do this to, I think, prove my point, but I have done it. So there you go. There's a slightly wonky looking H, and I've created a letter.
Yeah.
But obviously some people have created much bigger letters using lots of connectors, and you don't obviously have to use this size. You can make them smaller to make them look a lot cooler. You've got the option to mess around with the length too. So you could probably create an H just by having one long connector here, and then one here, and then one here as well. So yeah, that's how they've done it.
Well, for example, with Ilona's lotus ring design, the petals, the large petals of the lotus flower, those are made with connectors.
So I want to be very clear about the NFT Paris pieces. I will potentially just, I think you guys will go and have a look at them on the website. These are essentially sort of custom pieces that we created as a promotion for the launch of the jewelry workshop. So we talked about bases earlier and how they can't be altered at the moment in the jewelry workshop. But we have worked with the designers in the past to basically have them create bases from scratch, as well as the gemstone alignment on it as well. And we've essentially worked in cooperation with them, with our designers on our side, to recreate what they have designed inside the jewelry workshop platform. Using all of the textures and all of the gemstones that we have.
Got it. Got it. Okay, that makes absolute sense. So we have a lot of questions sort of about copying and copyright, etc. Is this a good time to address these?
Yeah, so copyright. If you're taking part in a design contest that involves us, then of course we own the platform. We can tell which catalog was created first. So let's say that you created a design and you only turned it into a catalog, which is kind of like a gemstoneless design version. Let's go over here quickly and I'll show you. I'm gonna just demonstrate turning this into a catalog. So I've essentially clicked up there at the top to turn that into what is called a catalog. That someone can essentially, I could put this on sale, and I could select a price. This is all stuff that you can really mess around with in the game. If someone were to go over here and look at a catalog and essentially copy it, and you can see some people who create some really cool stuff over here, we would know who did it first. So you don't need to worry too much about that. And when it comes to actually creating the jewelry pieces that you obviously see over here, now, when these are turned into NFTs, when they're created, this is recorded on the blockchain. And that's the wonderful thing about blockchain technology, and kind of why it's a very powerful technology that could be the evolution of copyright law in itself, is that you can always tell, anyone can look at the blockchain and understand who created a piece of jewelry first. So if someone has copied your design and made it into a piece of jewelry and tried to sell it, then it is essentially worthless, because anyone could go onto the blockchain and go, well, look, you didn't make that, that was made by this person. So there's no value for me buying that off of you, when, I can get it off the person who originally designed it. So it's, the blockchain is essentially, a copyright, anti-copyright system in itself. It's completely public, anyone can tell. And we can always help you with that as well if you have any issues with other users.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, that really, really clearly answers the question. And also, you're just really addressing copyright in the fashion industry in general, and the immense relevance of the blockchain to the industry. So Preetha asks, will one have to buy the gemstones in order to use it in the design?
So yeah, that's a good question, and one I'll just cover again quickly. So let's go back into
They
our
missed the
horrible looking
beginning of
ring.
the presentation. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. That's absolutely fine. So you know what? Let's just kind of have a look at a necklace quickly, just for a little bit of freshness here. So I'm going to go ahead and take this trillion cut and put it over here and make it a little bit bigger just because it looks cool. And there we go. We have a very, very simple looking necklace. So again, we can click on here, purchase gemstones of this size, and that's probably going to make you think, oh, I'm going to have to purchase the gemstones to use it in the design. That's not true. If you click on the gemstone, well, it's not true when you're designing. So you can see this wonderful gemstone I'd like to put in this placeholder that I've got. So I'll click the place unfixed. So let's go here again, just make sure that we all got that. I've chosen this one, and then you don't click the purchase, you click the place unfixed button. And then you can see it in your design. And this is good enough. I mean, this will be the screen. We can turn off all these guidelines. This is the screen that you'd be screenshotting in order to submit on Instagram for your design contest, in order to be featured on the Digital Fashion Runway at Digital Fashion Week. If you are looking to create your piece of jewelry for real and sell it on the marketplace, that's when things become a little bit different. That's when you are going to have to purchase the gemstone. So you'd be going over here, and I think it's important to really research these things and ask in our community if you don't understand a lot about how Web3 works. But essentially, the prices of these gemstones are in either Pol or Brill, which they are both cryptocurrencies. And it's possible to get these cryptocurrencies if you own a crypto wallet and you go to an exchange and you purchase them on an exchange. But you will have to go through that process first if you want to start actually purchasing gemstones. And once you've done that, so let's say I have, I don't know, I'm going to choose from a gemstone that I really own this time. I'll get rid of this one. Let's put this over here. That's something that I actually own. And I could then click this finish creation button. And so you have to pay a small creation fee, and obviously however much it costs you to get this gemstone as well. And once you've done that, the piece of jewelry will be finished. You're choosing a name for it as well, like Churchie's necklace. And you're choosing what the thumbnail will look like as well when it's turned into an NFT. So all of this kind of feature is here for you. And the result of creating that is essentially it'll be delivered to your account. Once it's been turned into an NFT, it typically takes around 24 hours. And you'll be able to sell it over here on the jewelry marketplace. So it's not a case of you needing to create it for the design competition, but if you're actually participating in the Brilliantcrypto jewelry ecosystem, then eventually you will be purchasing gemstones and you will be creating pieces of jewelry. But what we're doing here is we're creating that demand for jewelry purchases, and there are people purchasing pieces of jewelry, as you can see in the recent trades tab, and you can see these ones that have been sold recently. So if you're purchasing gemstones and your design adds to the value of the piece of jewelry, then that's when you start seeing the reward for really getting involved here. That was a bit of a long answer, but I hope that answers the question.
That's fantastic. There's
Very
actually another
clearly, yes.
question sort of building on that. Let me just going through them in order. Nam asks, is it okay to create offensive jewelry? I'm not sure what offensive is. Nam, you didn't give us any clarification on
Yeah,
that.
I'm pretty sure this is a community member that said this. It's obviously don't create offensive jewelry. We don't really appreciate any offensive stuff on our platform, including names, for example. You can't create offensive names, and obviously if we find any offensive jewelry, then it will be deleted pretty quickly. So don't do that, and certainly wouldn't do it if you're planning on trying to win the design contest. You probably won't be chosen. I would avoid that.
Offensiveness does not win. So Sobi had a follow-up question to what we were talking about earlier. Wondering to which extent Brilliant Crypto builds on any basic know-how and rules on how to work with precious metals and high-value gemstones to possibly transfer stunning designs into real products.
That's a really interesting question.
Hmm.
Obviously, I talked a little bit earlier about how the way that the gemstones appear and the different aspects that they have is very based on how gemstones are appraised in real life. And we have gone for a, as realistic as possible approach. There are some very, very industry breaking shaders at play here. I mean, we have some incredible designers and engineers that have worked on these for a long time. When it comes to actually working on metal work and following the rules of physical jewelry, whether you do that or not is kind of up to you. As I've mentioned before, like some people create some designs that sort of a little bit floaty. Some things are floating or connected in weird ways. And if I were to create a, let's say, let's get rid of this piece over here, and let's put this pear shape, and I'm going to make it as big as possible. Um, and then how are we gonna hopefully? I mean, it's too big. I can't even connect it where I want to. Um, but let's see. Well, whatever. It's too big. If you were gonna put this on your neck in real life, you'd probably fall to the floor in an instant because it's so blooming big. It's 100 carats, right? Um, the point is that, well, although it's not placed correctly, so you couldn't actually turn this into a piece of jewelry right now. Our workshop, because it's about digital fashion, allows you to create things that wouldn't exist in real life. Um, but when it comes to replicating them in real life, if you say you wanted to work with a 3D printing, team who could replicate your design, which, is possible, you could definitely do that. When they take a look at your design, they might just go, whoa, I mean, that can't exist, bro. Like
Hmm.
that's not realistic. So we wouldn't
Yeah.
recommend trying to make that. So it's really up to you if you want to try do something like that with this software. It's up to you to sort of think about, is what I've created something that can actually be replicated or not, or should I be a little bit more conservative with my design, or do you just want to go crazy with it and break all the rules? So to sort of sum up, there are aspects of what we're doing here which do follow the rules, especially with regards to gemstones. On the design front, it's closer to digital fashion standards where you can get a little bit more crazy with it and you can really start breaking the boundaries. So we're
Yeah, I
kind
think
of,
that's the fun of it as well, right? If you have a platform like this, best to kind of like let your creativity kind of run wild and see where you get it eventually.
I mean, that's why we're all here, right? Like that's why
Yeah,
we like digital fashion, so
exactly.
if we wanted to keep it real, then we might have, stuck to doing physical design. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Great. So, and we have one more question. How many times or pieces can you enter in the competition?
So you are very welcome to enter as many pieces as possible. In fact, we encourage you to do so. You can't, there are 5 spots on the runway though, and you can't win 5 spots. You can only win 1 spot, but um, you can enter as much as you want. So definitely do that. And all of the, and I'll explain this in a second, but all of the details on how to enter, it is a little bit complicated, so it might take you a while to get your entry ready, but it is worth it because obviously you can be on the digital runway, or um, just to draw a little bit more attention to this, it's also possible to win a certain amount of that currency, pull or brill that we were talking about. So you'll actually be able to start buying gemstones and creating your design if you manage to score in the top 10. So it's worth it if you really want to get more into this ecosystem for sure.
Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah, but
Cool.
good luck with your, I really hope to see, I think it's Play with Trajco. I'm very looking forward to seeing your design. It sounds like you're interested in getting involved. So yeah, please do.
Yeah, great.
Well, I think we're
Very
we're
cool.
sort of I think we're sort of towards the end of the questions, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
um, I was hoping, um, Okay, so I'm getting the questions from Churchie about like the details of the contest. So why don't we just jump straight into having a quick look at that, so that it's a little bit clearer for everyone who's watching who wants to get involved in the competition. So I'm just going to throw up the contest page that Claire made. I think that might be the best thing to do. Am I lagging?
No, all good.
I think.
Oh yeah, wait, you are.
Am I
Sorry.
back? Am I live?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe. Okay, I think it's good. I had that was a very weird moment. Yeah, I could see my face moving, but it was after I said things. That's the wrong page. Excuse me. That's the one. So yeah, this is on the Digital Fashion Week homepage. So go and read there for some details. But the real place you want to be going to is the digital jewelry workshop Instagram page. But just for the ease for people to understand at the moment, first to fifth place, you'll be able to win $200 worth of Brill or Pole. And if you are sixth to 10th place in the digital contest, you'll be able to win $100 worth of Brill or Pole. And that actually goes quite far when you are purchasing gemstones and also finishing your designs. You'll be able to finish a lot of designs with that amount of Brill or Pole. So yeah, if you are looking to get involved with the economy, then I would definitely recommend taking part just to make sure that you can so that you can get your hands on those rewards. But obviously, the main reward is being featured on the Digital Fashion Week 2025 Digital Runway. It will be a industry first, if I believe I'm referring to that correctly, Claire.
I think so. Yes. Yeah. We have live motion capture in London. We have the Metaverse runway in New York.
So,
Never
yeah,
seen
I mean,
before.
I can account for the fact that I've been to both the shows and they're both pretty epic. I
so
went in 2024, they were both pretty brilliant. So hats off to Claire. Had a good time.
Thank you.
and
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
going to be even better with your design. So we need you.
Always,
it's
yes.
so yeah, I'll just quickly jump back just to sort of round everything off. If do we still have time? Are we still okay on time?
We're a
I'm
little over
aware.
time, but that's okay.
Okie dokie. I'm just going to quickly jump back to the original presentation. Here we are, which is just talking about the jewelry contest. So again, where? Instagram, when? August the 1st to 15th. So it is already underway. You have another 9 days to create your piece of jewelry. That should be enough to get started on the platform with everything that we've taught you. And just heading over to the Instagram page, this is jewelry.workshop. This is also, all over the place on the Digital Fashion Workshop, the Digital Fashion Week pages as well. And you can see all of the details here, how to get started, all of the notes and all of the things that you need to be doing. For example, you need to screenshot your designs, you need to put the gemstones in them, you need to follow both Jewelry Workshop and Digital Fashion Week XYZ. You need to post the screenshots on your Instagram feed and make sure to tag both of those accounts as well. And there are some other really important notes there as well. So make sure to read all of this before you get started on your design. But there's still very much a very strong chance for anyone who wants to get involved. So make sure to follow the account and take a look at the posts. And there's lots of tutorials on here as well that will teach you a bit more on how to do your designs in the digital jewelry workshop. So good luck to everyone who wants to take part.
Thank you so much. So one more thing, can people join your Discord channel if they have additional questions that they want to ask?
Absolutely. Not only can they join our Discord channel, we would love for them to join our Discord channel. I will be there, and many other very experienced community members are there as well to help you out. So you can easily, ask your questions. If you go to the brilliantcrypto.net website, then you'll be able to get directed to the Discord channel very easily. And yeah, ask your questions and you will be rewarded with knowledge. Obviously, we've got 9 days left for the contest. So now is the time to try everything out. If you're having problems, like, for example, I need to get into the game, but the game's telling me I can't join from the US, and we're talking about VPNs, for example, or there are ways to fix your problems if you're having any. So make sure you do join the Discord and ask your questions. It will be a different place to this for sure. So yeah, I think we're good, right?
Oh, right. So, actually, there was one question earlier, sorry, about somebody could not get onto the platform, I think in the US. I can't see that question.
Yeah, no, I saw it. If you
Oh,
use a VPN, then you'll be totally fine. I mean, it's not something that we officially recommend, but it's something that you are capable of doing. So you can use a VPN in order to access the program. I'm not telling you to, but it's totally okay. And that's just to do with like certain regulations regarding Web3 in the US. So that's just something that you'll have to get around. But it is totally possible to use the platform. So
okay. And I think we have one last question here. May I ask from Chill Vibes for you again? Very active here. May I ask
yeah,
why,
Chill Vibes is killing it, honestly. Chill Vibes, you're doing so great, man.
yeah,
Loving it.
why I take so long to get the Brill shown in game when I send them?
This could be for various reasons. Obviously, you need to be very careful that you are sending to the correct wallet address. So if you've downloaded the game and you've created a wallet and you have, got another wallet that has Brill somewhere else, then, you might send it, but the blockchain, it can get congested sometimes. It's not a instant network a lot of the time. And we also have to process your transaction as well automatically, but we do. So this can take time. You can also refresh your wallet, as Nam has just said. If you go into the wallet inside the game, there is a sort of circular refresh button that you can click just to double check that it hasn't already come into your wallet. But if you do have any sort of further questions about that sort of stuff, and you still don't sort of receive what you think you should have received, then you can always come into Discord and ask us more, and we can try and help you out.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. This was absolutely amazing. It was fascinating from a design perspective, from a blockchain perspective, for what it means for the creator economy perspective as well. So it was absolutely wonderful. Siddharth, it was so great to have you join us here as well to
Thank
really
you.
share your design knowledge and
Yep.
expertise. Um,
No, so happy to be here. Definitely.
so
I wish I'd been able to jump in more into your design knowledge, really. I mean, there was a lot of you just
Yeah.
basically telling me, like, I think you should start getting a bit more 3D into the design. Or, like, I think you should start playing around with that. But it was very helpful.
Yeah.
And,
Maybe a
you know,
part two will help. We should do a part
well,
two.
I think we should. But,
Yeah.
also, um, for everyone watching, Sid and Claire will both be judges of the design contest as well. So they'll certainly be offering their words of wisdom surrounding design as well. So you'll get your design looked at by these two wonderful designers. And also the people over at Glitch as well, who we're working with, Glitch Magazine. So yeah, make sure that you guys, definitely get your designs in. For more design tips from Sid, for sure.
Yeah. 100%.
I can't
Yeah.
wait. Thank you so much for this. And I look forward to seeing you and the winners at Digital Fashion Week in September.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Thank you
Definitely.
very much,
Looking
everybody.
forward.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.
you.
That's all.
Okay,
Cheers.
Thanks for
bye.
watching.
Bye.
See
Bye.
you.